together we can embrace the Uluru Statement from the Heart. We can answer its patient, gracious call for a voice enshrined in our Constitution.
That was Anthony Albanese's victory speech when he became Australia's 31st Prime Minister in May 2022. It was also the moment that he committed his first-term government to constitutional change. And today the Nightly has revealed what Labor insiders really thought of it and what they now think is an albatross around Albo's neck. Here to unpack it with us is Nightly Editor-in-Chief Anthony Desegli. Anthony, great to have you on the first episode of the show.
No, thank you. I can't wait to do my segment and then later on listen to the whole show.
Yeah, well, Chris Dawes' piece in the Nightly today really doesn't hold back. What did we learn about Albo's decision-making around the voice referendum in those moments where he was elected Prime Minister?
Yeah, look, I think the headline act, to use an insider saying, the headline act is definitely the fact that, you know, Christopher Dawes, former editor-in-chief of The Australian, is revealing for the first time that, you know, very high up senior Labor people around Anthony Albanese warned him not to come out in that victory speech and specifically talk about the voice. They told him to be generic. And of course, the first thing that he did was come out and promise the voice. And, you know, the whole piece is how this becomes an albatross around his neck. And is still causing problems for the Prime Minister.
Yeah, it feels as though reading that piece and looking at what some of those Labor insiders have said, that he got a bit swept up in the moment and he wanted to make a big grandiose statement. That was the decision that he made on the spur of a moment. And now Indigenous people have paid the price. The chances of a voice referendum have been scrapped. It really didn't turn out the way Albo hoped.
No, it didn't. And right at the end of the piece, some high-ranking Labor insiders again also say that it's probably stuffed the Republic movement as well. But I think the really important part of this piece is, you know, no matter where you stand on the voice to Parliament, no matter whether you're conservative or if you're left-wing, if you're progressive, right-wing, what people haven't really done is deconstruct how it all went wrong, and haven't deconstructed to this level of degree by Christopher Dawes how the wheels came off and how Albo performed during that referendum. And I think, you know, for all intents and purposes, he didn't perform very well.
And what do you think it says now that some of these Labor insiders are being so vocal at the same time as the party is facing some huge challenges with polling numbers? We saw this week they took a dip, dropping below the coalition for the first time. Do you think it's a sign that maybe the Labor bandwagon is getting a bit rickety?
I mean, look, there's an old saying in politics, if you want a friend, buy a dog. And, you know, the Dunkley by-election is obviously this weekend. That'll be a test. Stage 3 tax cuts are probably going to save the Dunkley by-election for the Labor government. But I think there's no doubt that things are tighter than they were 2 years ago. And as you said at the start of this, the really sad thing, really tragic thing is the voice to Parliament, you know, it didn't work out, and one of the reasons it didn't work out was because of how the Prime Minister performed during that campaign.
Yeah, and so you've got that, which his own party members are saying is an albatross around his neck to this day, months and months after the voice. Cost of living, which we know about, we report on this every day, rate rises. There was a time when Australia seemed to change PMs more regularly than some people change their socks. Is there any chance that there could be a leadership spill?
Oh, look, the way the Labor Party changed how you can, you know, knife a Prime Minister in the back, they've made it a lot harder. So it's not like it used to be. They've made it a lot harder. I can't imagine there is a leadership change anywhere near on the agenda. But, you know, what Christopher Dawes' piece has done is show that there is concerns. And when there's concerns, there's talk, and agendas get swept up. And, you know, their biggest risk is probably a rising Peter Dutton and a Liberal Party that is feeling more buoyant than it has in a long time, because Australians are hurting in their hip pocket. And, you know, when Australians hurt in their hip pocket, they're not very happy.
Yeah, it's amazing to think. Not that long ago, we talked about, you know, whether the Liberal brand was dead in Australia, when Conservative politics were dead in Australia, but certainly doesn't seem to be the case right now. A lot can and will change before the next election, which has to be called before the end of September next year. Folks, you can get ahead of it all with the best analysis in the country at thenightly.com.au. And it's Editor-in-Chief Anthony Desegli. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you, Ben.